Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Jonathan. Today I'm bringing you a video talking about BTZ, also known as below the zone. So what BTZ is, because when I was joining the military, I had no idea what it was. It's basically ranking up to senior airman or E4 6 months earlier than you would have been. It's kind of prestigious, if you will, in the Air Force. It's kind of a big deal if you get it. It's good on, like, I think EPRs and all sorts of stuff like that, right? So basically, to hit senior airman normally, you have to have 36 months time in service and 20 months time in grade as an A1C, or 28 months time in grade. So it's kind of confusing. You just have to do the math based on when you joined and what rank you joined as. That's why there's a difference there. It's probably like the most confusing automated rank up, I guess you could say. But below the zone allows you to do that 6 months earlier. So normally I would have sewn on February 7th of 2020 to senior airman, but if I were to get below the zone, then I would have sewn on August 7th, 2019, this year. So basically what that means is you're gonna get paid more money sooner. You also, like for my example, since I joined February 7th, 2017, the way that I joined, the cycle that goes for staff sergeant testing, I wouldn't have been in the cycle for me to test. So basically, I'm never going to test for staff sergeant in the Air Force the whole time that I'm in the Air Force because of the time that I joined. But, and this isn't the case for me, but if I did get below the zone, I would sew on 6 months earlier, which would put me in the bracket to test for staff sergeant. So if I did want to become a staff sergeant, if I was re-enlisting or wanted to put that on my resume as an E5 and have that leadership role, because some people like to do that, I would be able to do that by getting BTZ. So for some situations, sometimes people just want BTZ because it's kind of a cool accolade, like it looks good. You get more money faster, you get like the senior airman responsibilities faster. It's like E4 Mafia senior airman. That's like the best rank in the military because you're not a supervisor yet, so you don't have to, I guess this sounds bad, but like babysit people, but you're also not the youngest airman, so you're not getting picked on all the time by the older people. You're right in that middle, like you're like the middle child that's kind of forgotten about. Like people love senior airmen, and so they like to sew on faster, and also people like BTZ because then when they get BTZ, they can go test for staff sergeant faster too. So for me, in my situation, I didn't have enough bullets to put together a good enough package for BTZ. If you've seen my why you should sign 6 years and why you should sign 4-year videos, you know why I joined the Air Force. Like I pretty much joined the Air Force for education and just because I needed some job security and I want to work on other things outside of the military. So for me, getting below the zone was just kind of like, okay, cool. Like if I have the bullets to do it and more money comes out of it and I get into that E4 sweet spot, then like that's perfect. So I figured like, okay, I might as well go for it, but I didn't actually have enough bullets, so I'm not really like heartbroken about it or anything like that. It's not that big of a deal. But there are definitely people who like strive from the time that they join the military to get BTZ that don't. And so this video is kind of guide you, hopefully, to kind of get BTZ. This video is like not super crazy or anything like that. But yeah, so I know earlier like, oh, what is a bullet? He just said bullet. So a bullet is a bullet point. Like in the Air Force, there's a certain way that we write bullets and stuff for packages and for EPRs and all sorts of stuff like that. I don't know why we do it. It's got to be some traditional thing or some AFI that mandates you to write them that way. I wish I had an example, but I don't. Imagine a resume and there's a bullet point for all the things you've done. So like, let's say I volunteered at, I actually did this. I volunteered with some friends of mine, my coworkers, at a elementary school, Catholic elementary school, and they had a science fair and we volunteered as judges. So like that's a bullet point. That's a bullet. It's not a huge bullet because I didn't like lead it. I didn't change anything. I didn't like build that whole science fair or anything like that. So it's not like a crazy good like piece of your resume, so to speak. But that's the example that I'm giving. So the things that are like huge for BTZ packages and stuff, number one, let me just say that it is your supervisor's job to write your BTZ package. Sometimes supervisors will like try to get you to write the bullets and then they'll go over them before they submit it, but it is literally their job to write the package. So all you have to do is, while you're in the military, from the time that you join, write down everything you do. Just write down everything you do, because volunteering in the Air Force is huge. Like, it's pretty much mandatory to volunteer for stuff. Write down how fast you did your CDCs. Write down if you got a good score in your CDCs, write that down. If you got a good score in Sec Plus, write that down. If you volunteered for something, write it down. Like, no matter what it is, whether it's getting education, whether it's no matter what, like leading anything, or even like a big work bullet. It doesn't even have to be outside of work. Like, let's say you helped the Air Force save like $1 million or something, or you didn't even do it. You just contributed to the project that was helping the Air Force save like $1 million somewhere. Like, that is a really big bullet. It's a good work bullet. And that's something that you would want to put down. And then it's your supervisor's job to go write down all those bullets. I don't know how many of each you need, but it's good to have like 2 work bullets, like two good volunteer bullets, and then leadership bullets and education and all sorts of stuff like that. So, I mean, if you want BTZ, the option is there. If you want to become a staff sergeant, you want to test for a staff sergeant faster, or maybe you're like me, you did the math and you're like, oh, well, I'm not even going to be able to test anyways, but I still want to. This is the literal route to do it. So there is that. Also, when I say education, like education bullets and stuff like that, I'm talking about the CCAF. So one of the biggest like bullets you can have on your BTZ package and stuff is your CCAF, which is the Community College of the Air Force. It's an applied associate's degree. I think I've talked about it before. If not, I might make a video about it. But basically in the Air Force, we can CLEP and take Dante's DSST test to get college credits for our associates, essentially. It's through the Community College of the Air Force, but it is an associate's degree. Sometimes the credits transfer to schools, sometimes they don't, but for the sake of being in the Air Force and the sake of ranking up in the Air Force, that is something that is really big that the Air Force looks for, is continual education and kind of moving that direction. And so that is a really good first step to take to kind of get towards BTZ, is take CLEPs. They're literally free. If you fail, they cost like $80, but they give you the study material, they give you everything you need, and you're basically testing out of taking a class to get the credits for the degree. So anyways, that is kind of this video. It's not super broad or anything like that, but the option for BTZ is there. I would go for it if I was you, just because you might as well. When I first joined with my friends, we're like, we're not gonna go for BTZ, like we're not gonna re-enlist, like we don't really care about that. That's not like our primary goal for being in the military. But once the time came around, I already had a lot of bullets because I volunteer for stuff anyways, because it's just fun to like help people, I guess. It's nice to help people. It's nice to like do Meals on Wheels and go deliver to people who need their food, you know? So, but we didn't really want to do it, but we still had all these bullets, and so we're like, I guess we'll go for BTZ, but I just didn't end up having enough. So I don't know, it's not that big of a deal. But I will try to link some sort of information down below about BTZ if I can find a good website about it that might go more in depth than I did, because I didn't really go that in depth. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell. Also, if you are leaving soon, or maybe in a year or something, and for some reason you have a ship date, make sure you leave them down below so that I can talk to you. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And also, you can talk to other people who might be leaving at the same time. You guys can hang out. You might go to the same tech school. You never know what can happen. It's always good to kind of network now so you have friends later, instead of trying to make friends while you're there and you're stressed out because it's BMT. Anyways, thank you again for watching, and peace out.